reaction, Brew, to this development?
You're going to hate me, Wilds, but I'm just surprised it happened. Meow.
Oh, God.
I'm surprised at the timing. Meow. Why meow? No. I tried to lighten things. And you're hurt. I know you're shaking, so I'm trying to lighten things up.
Here's why I'm hurt really quickly. New York was on fire for the last month.
They named streets.
Yeah, and it was just going crazy. And it was the best Knicks basketball I have been a part of in the city since I was here. I moved here like 2000.
It's not saying much.
No, but still, it was like the whole city was energized. There was a thing on New York One about.
Are you still drinking out of your Halliburton cup? My God.
That's an accident.
No, it's not an accident. This is going to stay here till the finals are over.
Okay, all right, sorry. Go ahead.
Anyways,
yes.
They get down 3-0 maybe.
Yeah.
I'll go back to the regular.
I just thought it was a bad move. I think it's a bad move.
All right, here's my look. I said yesterday, I've been saying for the past few weeks, I would not have gotten rid of Thibs. I understand it, though.
Wow.
I've been saying that in the offseason, I think one of the things they need to do is sit down with Thibs, the front office and coaching staff and all that, and talk about we need to have a different type of offense. Jalen is great. Jalen can average 28 for us for the next 3 years maybe, but are we going to win that way? So the question was, one, would Thibs even adjust and, want to run a more egalitarian offense where everybody's getting involved? Or is he able to adjust? This is how Thibs is coached. He did this with Derrick Rose. This is pretty much how he's coached. And so I think that question is legitimate. And then I talked about the bench. Again, is Thibs willing or able to go deeper? The things that people were complaining about and that I wanted them to change are things Thibs done throughout his career. And here's why I'm not, again, I would not have done it if I were Leon Rose running the Knicks. I was thinking I would give him one more year. Let's see if we can make these adjustments. But the reason I'm not going to kill it is because we have seen stuff like this happen before and work. Like Mark Jackson, and I'm not saying he was Thibodeau, but those Golden State teams were good. They were winning close to 50 games, if not 50 games, and it looked like there's a ceiling. And Steve Kerr comes in, the rest is history. Phil Jackson, Doug Collins was getting, I know there were other circumstances, but Doug Collins was getting Michael Jordan and crew to the Eastern Conference Finals, and there was a ceiling, it seemed. Phil Jackson comes in, the rest is history. And so heck, look at Cleveland, and I get it. They got bounced in the second round. But J.B. Bickerstaff wasn't because he wasn't a good coach. He did a great job in Detroit, including in the playoffs. But they needed a new voice, and Cleveland did get better, and Detroit, Bickerstaff made them better. I think Thibs will get a job, if not this year, we'll see what's open, but certainly in the near future. But I'm not going to kill them because this could work. Well, they do need, I think, to change the way they play.
I mean, all right, so it definitely could work. Sometimes these are the best shows and sometimes they're the worst in that where you don't have hours to think about it. It's just like It's your instant reaction. Mm-hmm. So I'll just tell the audience my honest instant reaction. First one was when the regular season ended, they planned to fire Tom Thibodeau and they were not going to let what was a surprising playoff run change their mind. It can't be because they underachieved in the playoffs. It's not what happened.
But they feel that way.
No, so
when you lose to you know what I mean? It was a lower seed. I get it because I picked Indiana and I thought they were better.
But do we think that, but I guess my point, if they're firing him now, then had they done what we all thought they were going to do, which is get clocked by Boston, and at the end of the year, it's like, oh, the Knicks finished 2-18 against the best teams in basketball, he was getting fired. And so to me, they had made my gut reaction is, as the season was winding down, they were already planning to move on. And then the Boston series happens. If you're a Celtic fan right now, the loud Celtic fans that, I'm not talking about you, KW, honestly, I'm not being smart aleck here, but the ones who are online loudly saying how much of a fluke that series was, part of the Knicks front office might agree with you. Like, we won. but we shouldn't have won that series. We were down 15 in the first 5 games, and we're not going to change our path because of that. When Michael Malone got fired, one of the things ownership said was, and I'm going to paraphrase, but it was along the lines of like, well, we thought this team could go on a deep playoff run, and we already knew we wanted to move on from the coach and didn't want a deep playoff run to make that more complicated. So I think there is evidence of that. That's one thing that popped in my head. The other thing that popped in my head is this quid pro quo is the wrong phrase, but do they have messaging that, hey, if you hire person X, that might encourage Giannis to say, that's where I want to go specifically. And again, like I said, I'm obviously not reporting this. It's just on the brain of Nick Wright, what he thought of when I heard this. Because I do think it's surprising. Because while you are explaining, Brew, why it's understandable, you're not explaining, and I don't think you're trying to explain, why it's what you would have done. And it is surprising to me, particularly when I don't know. Like we always say, grass isn't always greener. I don't even know what color the next grass is because I don't know who they're like. Who's the hot coaching candidate?
Yeah, exactly, and that's exactly what I want to talk about because basketball is not football. Basketball is not football where there's plenty of these other interesting coaches to hire where you say, okay, this is a great offensive coordinator, up and coming, has been working with Sean McVay, Andy Reid, whoever it may be. Oh, there's this awesome college coach. Like, there's like real decisions that you can make. Oh, so-and-so has been an absolute quarterback whisperer in college, has multiple Heisman, whatever it may be. That's not how basketball works. So, is this a good fire? It all depends on who you hire, but like, you don't watch the Knicks play and say, oh, they lost because of coaching. I did not watch the playoffs say they lost because of coaching. They underperformed because of coaching. They were out coached. I don't think that way at all. In fact, I think Thibs did a lot of out coaching himself, quite frankly. Now, was he perfect? Did he make some mistakes? Of course, but every coach does. Every coach, at least once a game, makes a decision where you're like, what are they doing? Why are you doing that? Steve Kerr, Jackson, whoever you want, Pop. We can go on and on and on, but the reality is there's a reason why someone like Doc Rivers keeps getting jobs. Because there's just not enough coaches out there, man. There's not enough good coaches. Not even just good coaches, let alone great coaches in the NBA. It's just not a thing. And there isn't this big like, all right, we're getting some of these, college coaches or whatnot. And like I said, there's not really the equivalent of, hey, this OC is an amazing play caller. He's done wonders with this quarterback. We got a quarterback now who's in his second year, was struggling. Let's bring him in and see what he can do. Like the transfer of coaching is a lot easier to see the path. It's not like that in basketball. It's really not. It's really, really, really not. And then to bring up Giannis, like that doesn't really make sense to me because where does Giannis have say in what coach to have? Since when does Giannis know about picking coaches? Seriously, what's his background in that? That doesn't mean I mean since when is that a thing? LeBron James I could understand. I could totally understand. But like Giannis? And it's not a matter of greatness. It's kind of like, what's your track record here? Giannis wanted some coaches fired. How'd that work out for him? Not too well. Like Giannis, Giannis is like, I'll come to New York as long as Thibs isn't there or something. Like I don't know. He's like, I want Malone to be the head coach. I mean, that seems weird to me. I mean, I feel like something like this happens because, right, it was the first Eastern Conference Finals appearance since, in 25 years. I think they played great. They ran out of steam. They had some bad luck. That first game, I think even Reggie Miller said it. This series was won and lost in game one. And that's Reggie Miller saying that, And I think that's very true. I mean, they don't blow that game. You're essentially, you're right there. You're minutes away, a couple made shots, a couple rim outs from going to the finals. So, I don't know. Unless you really are confident in who you're hiring next, and there's a real plan, I don't get it. The only thing that I think of then is because Nick's like, had his random tinfoil hat theories. And I don't mean that, to be like, that's not a shot at Nick. I'm just saying because like he even said like, I just am doing this on the fly, as am I. Is like, well, how do the players feel about Thibs? Because he's a more intense coach. He's a harder coach. Are some of the players kind of like, I think when you don't truly win, those coaches are a little bit harder to deal with because you're like, well, we didn't win, and I've been dealing with this now. Like, it's okay if we win, but once we stop winning, the message is tough to listen to. Not unlike what happened with the Denver Nuggets. So I just wonder if Jalen Brunson and company were just kind of like, no. But the problem is sometimes the players are right in that situation, and sometimes the players are wrong. Seriously, sometimes the players just want to point fingers at someone else. Players are still human. Everyone, at the end of the day, everyone's always trying to defend for themselves. So this is definitely just kind of a wait and see thing. Like, I was shocked. I found out about this on ESPN. I was just, I periodically, pretty regularly throughout the day, will just go to ESPN.com, keep hitting refresh, and I see breaking, Knicks fire. And I'm like, what? What is this? And I see, I'm like, wow, this is... It caught me off guard. I think he's been a very successful coach. And so, again, really the take and the only take is it's all about who you hire next. That's what it all comes down to. Which seems like kind of like, well, obviously, but it's like that is really actually the only take to be had. Who are you hiring next? And unless you absolutely knock it out of the park, then this was 100% a mistake. 100% a mistake, and you're trying to blame someone for the shortcomings, and you're blaming the wrong person. Look at the coaches around the NBA, man. Look around the coaches. I mean, look at coaches who won. Look at the Philadelphia 76ers head coach. Like, he won in Toronto with Kawhi Leonard, etc., and yet Thibs last season had the Knicks way better prepared. So you can't just go by who wins, who doesn't. I look at it, who's prepared. And the Knicks were never unprepared. I see a lot of unprepared teams in the NBA. I see a lot of coaches out there that I'm like, I don't have any confidence that you know what to do or have the ability to like actually make changes. JJ Redick had the Lakers ready. He did not. Was he pulling the strings that needed to be pulled? He was not. So, I don't know. It's going to be, honestly, this is an absolute wait and see type situation. And if you were going to bring a Giannis in, if that's even possible, I mean, who honestly really knows? And especially if Giannis wasn't like, I want him gone, like, let's just say that what Nick was saying is like not true. Which he admitted he was just kind of making up. Let's say like there's no validity to that. I would want a coach who's been there. I would want a coach who's been there, who understands his players already, who will have an easier time to integrate someone like Giannis. You want some of that continuity. Bringing on a brand new coach and someone like as big as Giannis, like it's just, I don't know. Honestly, I'm excited to see who it ends up being, but like, it's a wait and see type of situation for me. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the New York Knicks firing Tom Thibodeau? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.